Hi guys, it's Candace. I was going to go live really quickly just to discuss three ways or three things you need to consider before you downsize. Now, I know a lot of you saw my vulnerability post a couple days ago, and I just want to say thank you so much for your love and support. It was a challenging, there were some challenges throughout the downsize process, but we're always stronger for opposition that we experience. And thank you so much for the love you guys showed me. If I have not responded to your private message or if I haven't responded to your comment, I will. I'm getting to that. I hadn't expected such a unanimous response, but I'm excited that you all were touched by it. So getting to what downsize is, I think the number one thing, hey Mary! The number one thing is to determine what downsizing means for you. It's different for everybody. And I want to be really clear about that. A downsize doesn't mean you're going to sell everything in your house and move into an Airstream trailer. You don't have to do all that. Downsize doesn't have to mean that for you. A downsize can mean you want to downsize the toys in your kids' room. You want to get rid of less or have less DVDs in your house. It can be as simple as that. I know the lighting is not good. It's actually been storming on and off, and I anticipate it starting up again because over there it looks really black. I know a lot of you had reached out to me and said, I'm trying to downsize my stuff because I anticipate my in-laws moving in with us, or we're taking on some more foster children, so we need to downsize some of the things that we're doing so we can make more room for that. So that may be what a downsize looks like for you. But just know going into it what a downsize means to you. It doesn't have to be radical. It can be small incremental changes, but understand the process before you get started because it will change the way you approach it. So for us, downsizing meant less for me to clean on my days off. I was spending 6, 7, 8 hours cleaning. And if you're not in healthcare, you may not understand, but if you're a working person, you definitely know when you're off, you want to be off. You want to be enjoying your family. You want to be relaxing. You don't want to spend that time scrubbing your house top to bottom every single time. And if you have small children, it's very challenging to keep the house up. And then you don't want to sit down and relax and look at a dirty house. So for us, downsizing meant less to clean, it meant less bills because there wouldn't be as much to keep up with, and it meant in turn less work outside the home. My husband and I both have our own businesses. Mine is a side business at this time. My husband runs his own business with part-time hours, but he doesn't have to be there as much because we don't have as much stuff to keep up with. So that was our thought process behind our downsize. There were many other thought processes, and I can go into depth into that in another post. But know, number one, determine what a downsize means to you. Before you get started, you need to know what that means. Number two is understand what your stuff and your things mean to you. This is huge, and I don't think that I really even knew what my stuff and things meant to me until we started getting rid of them. But you all probably know, if you're in my generation or a little bit younger, the movie The Little Mermaid. And remember Ariel, she's in her little cave and she's saying, look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? And remember that she did not, she had all that stuff. She had a whole cave full of stuff and she still wanted more, right? So what does she want? If we think of Ariel, what does she want? She wanted something, an adventure, an experience outside of being a mermaid. And she wanted love. She wanted love with Eric. But yet she had all this stuff and she kept accumulating more and more and more. But was it really what she wanted? No, it wasn't what she wanted. So think about that when you start your downsize. Understand what your stuff and your things mean to you. When you're going through your stuff, what is it you really want? Does this item, does this bedroom, does this closet full of clothing, does it define you in some way? What is it saying about you? Are you shopping because you have anxiety? Are you buying all these clothing because inwardly you feel ugly somehow and you feel like you can just cloak all that in these beautiful items of clothing, you'll feel better about yourself? Is it makeup? Do you have tons and tons of makeup because you are having an issue with emotional eating perhaps, and if you can just cover up those feelings with makeup, or you're having a tough relationship, you can cover up that issue with makeup, and so you buy tons and tons and tons of it. For a lot of people, and myself included, I had pantries full of food. I remember this one time, I thought I was being so cool, and I had read some kind of article about black rice, and so I bought all this black rice for, I don't even know why. And so I cooked it, and it was terrible, and I had this huge thing of black rice, and it like stained the top of our kitchen, like the way that I don't know what. Anyways, my point is, you have to understand through this process, what does your stuff and your things mean to you? What is truly going on? Because if you're out of control and you're building up clutter in your home, something's going on. Something inside your heart is happening. So get to the bottom of that. And once you start the downsize process, if you're downsizing, you'll definitely discover what it is. I know for me, going to Target was a huge issue. I was very open about that. And the extreme issue, I would go to Target and I would buy a bunch of stuff that was not like from the dollar section and things that were not necessary. And I would come home and then it would come to the time to pay bills for the month and I wouldn't have it. Because I spent all my money at Target trying to find happiness or trying to find organization or trying to find value or trying to entertain my kids because I felt guilty because I had to work so much to pay for a house I couldn't afford, to pay for a life I couldn't afford. So you see how it kind of goes deeper into all these levels. So number 2, understand what your stuff and your things mean to you. Small disclaimer, I know some of you had mentioned to me in private messages, oh my word, I could never get rid of this quilt my grandma gave me. I could never, lose my pictures from my high school reunion. I did not get rid of things that had emotional or sentimental value. I have a small box of truly meaningful things to me that I kept. I do not believe in getting rid of or downsizing things that cannot be replaced in that sense. But, small disclaimer. And number 3 is actually more of a practical step. You have to decide what you're going to donate, what you're going to sell, and what you're going to trash. And it's up to you what these things mean to you. I think at first I was all about how I'm going to sell things and things are going to make a lot of money and we'll get more financial gain from that. It's a little bit more challenging to sell used items than it has been in the past. So be very careful safety-wise also. I had a few experiences with that. So number 3 is really more of a practical application. Start making piles of donate, sell, and trash. Maybe set aside a part in your current house or boxes of donate, sell, and trash and kind of go through them with your spouse, with your kids. Some of the toys that I got rid of, I didn't really tell the kids. They did end up finding them in one of our local thrift stores and were like, hey, don't we have this or didn't we have that? Or I have one just like this. And so just be prepared for them. So just the 3 things real quick. Determine what downsize means to you. Understand what your stuff and your things mean to you. Once you decide to downsize, what does the stuff mean to you? What's happening with your stuff and your things? And number 3, decide whether you want to donate, sell, or trash those items. I have a lot more tips and tricks to give you guys, but I just wanted to give you little nuggets along the way. When we first started our downsize process, I looked up so much research and I did a lot of looking up of everything, and I got super overwhelmed and then kind of started talking myself out of it. So I just want to give you a little nuggets along the way. So those are my three things for you now to consider and what you need to know before you begin a downsize process. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're having a fabulous Friday. Bye.